Hello everyone, welcome to this video on Bama's Karaku explanation of chapter 3. This video is part of the discussion of Karaku, an autobiographical novel by Bama, which is prescribed for the paper compulsory foundation course in English in the course English language at Mangalore University for the stream 4th semester BCA and BSc. Welcome to today's discussion, which is the continuation part of the last video, part 3, made on the explanations of the chapter 3 in the novel Karaku. So in this part, we will see the last part of the chapter 3. So in the last video, we came to know things began to, ebb, in the sense for flowing back to earlier states. The intercaste rivalry between the Chaliar and the Parayar community was getting gradually better, and it was getting reduced gradually. But still, this doesn't continue in the same way. Bama highlights that repeated intercaste disputes by mentioning further incidents which again show the intercaste disputes in their village. She opens this part, or she shows in this part, that the skirmishes, the little battles between little fights between small fights between the Pallar and the Parayar were continuing. Usually a petty incident. It's not a very serious thing. Sometimes it is very petty incident, a little small incident that is leading to a very terrible fight. And the first fight was because of a ripe banana. You can see one example. It was because of a ripe banana. Ondiviran, a man, I'm sorry, just a second. Ondiviran, a man from Pala Street, carting bananas when the Paraya by Paulu pulled off 2-3 fruits and ate them. That was an example. A Paraya boy pulled out some bananas which a Pala was carting. So this is in fact a very silly incident where one takes 1 or 2 banana from the cart, but this led to exchange of abuses. Sometimes, even it leads to fist fight between them. Again, 4 Palla boys joined in hand and beat up Paulu boy, raining blows upon him. So they beat him like anything. So where is humanity then? Where is humanity then? For the loss of just 2 bananas, if you can beat somebody to death, in a sense, to such a severe blows on him, in the sense, do we value that humanity, or are we in any way better than the wild animals? Sometimes we do possess such kind of harsh natures. What some wild animals, what we say, they are savage, or they are uncivilized. And can we say that we are civilized if we do like these? That's the question we have to think of at this moment. He did it, right? That the people belong to the Pallar community. They showed it to the Parayar. And the Pallar entered the Paraya quarter with sticks and knives again. You see, it continued there between 2 community, almost a kind of war between 2. Bama's father, Susai, and others, we know about Susai Raj, Bama's father, and others convinced them to call a meeting and settle peacefully, right? They wanted some kind of harmony between the communities. But in the meeting, Paulo was punished appropriately. Because Paulo, who picked 2 bananas from the cart, he was punished appropriately. Punishment was given to a person who was hungry, who desired to eat something, right? So why did he eat? Think of even that Paulu boy, Paulu, it was because he hadn't got money, he hadn't got that ability to buy it somewhere probably, or he hadn't owned any land where he can grow it. These are some of the reasons that we have to think of at this side. Anyhow, the social injustice itself led to that kind of disturbance then. Again, we find this continues. Thereupon, the boys on both the sides nursed vengeance. As I told you in the case of the poem written by William Blake, The Poison Tree, they nursed vengeance. Poison tree is nursed here, right? After 4 or 5 months, a fight erupted in a ration shop. There came one more incident. It happened at a ration shop. It was a fight between the Parayar and the Pallar. Right, let's see. So here again another incident led to battle. Right, Bama says here that effeminate grandson of Benjamin made some trouble. Look at the language Bama uses here. This is what I already told you about socialite. The people who talk like this about somebody, you can see effeminate, who possess the female qualities, a man showing female qualities, that is a effeminate grandson of Benjamin, who cannot do anything, made some trouble. The boys challenged each other and flung stones. Some Paraya women too joined using idli steamer lid for defense. You can see, it is idli steamer that is used for defense, like ಗುರಾಣಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ ಕನ್ನಡದಲ್ಲಿ, ಕತ್ತಿ ಗುರಾಣಿ, ರೈಟ್? ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಬಳಕೆಯಾಗಿ ಇಡ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಟೀಮರ್ನ ಬಳಸ್ಕೊಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ when the fight reached the fever pitch, it is again some people who wish to maintain harmony, like Susai tried to console them. He ran fast to the police to report them, but saw some Pallars parading with the sickles, climbing on to a well. He climbed onto a well and hid himself. You can see when he saw some Pallars, the people belong to Palla community, they were walking with parading with sickles, right? Having sickles, ಕತ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ಕುಡುಗೋಲು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ರೈಟ್? ಅದನ್ನು ಹಿಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿರುಗೋದನ್ನು ನೋಡಿ, he climbed onto a well because to save himself. He hid himself in a well. Then the military, as the Pallar disappeared, he raced along the ridge of the field. Ridge, you can see ridge between the paddy field, for example. ಮಧ್ಯದಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ಅಂಚು ಇರ್ತದೆ, ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅವನು ನಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹೋಗ್ತಾರೆ. And brought the police. The Palla men fled seeing him. That's the situation. The Palla men, when they saw the police, they flee, right? They fled from that place. This was the incident. And again, after some peace, they had established some peace, and the incident somewhat reached its peaceful state. Then, when Monangi's son, another incident, was standing at the oil shop, a few Palla boys beat him. A real brawl followed. Again, another brawl, another disturbance created because of beating of a Palla boy by, a Paraya boy by the Palla boys. Then when the hostilities were abating a bit, a few Pallars caught hold of a Paraya boy who had gone to the wood, hacked him and buried him there. You can see the height of cruelty here, the height of hatredness here. When he went to the forest, into the wood, right? So they killed him, hacked him and buried him there, to the extent of killing a person. Things started with the case of a boy named Paulu who ate 2 bananas belonged to somebody, right? When he was carting it in the bullock cart. This led to such a kind of hatredness that the death of a boy, murder of a boy, was the result of it. The Paraya men dug up his body and buried at the cemetery. They had no other option, right? When they found the burial of their community boy in the forest, they dug it up. They removed the body from that ground and they buried at the cemetery once again. So then they watched for the hapless Palla boy. They were waiting for the opportunity. When they found a Palla boy who had gone eastward to graze his goats, they also killed it. What we say, as I already told you, it is eye for eye. What we say, Hammurabi conduct, code of conduct, eye for eye or tit for tat. What we see, that kind of code of conduct is practiced here. Because they killed one, these people also killed one, right? So finally, the police came, dragged away the boys from both the caste and shoved them into jail, right? Pushing, shoved them into, shoved them into, jail and locked them up. The hostility between the caste continued like this. So this is the reflection. These are so many. These are some incidents that Bama brings in to show how intercaste disputes is the reason for lack of unity among the Dalits and lack of that hinders the development of them, according to Bama. She draws that inference from these instances, And she says the case still goes on with the adjournment follow each other. That you see in court, adjournment means postponing of hearings and proceedings that continues. And Bama wonders what would happen in the end, because these kind of fights, they ultimately reach some kind of thing. But one thing I recall that age old saying in Kannada, ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಕೋರ್ಟಿಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾನೆ ಅವನು ಸೋತಿರ್ತಾನೆ, ಕೋರ್ಟ್ನಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಸೋಲ್ತಾನೋ ಅವನು ಸತ್ತು ಬಿಡ್ತಾನೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಒಂದು ಹೇಳೋ ಮಾತಿದೆ. ಯಾಕೆಂದರೆ ವಿ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್ ದಟ್ ದೇ ಲೂಸ್ ಬೋತ್ ದ ಎಂಡ್ಸ್. The one who lose the case, he lose both the ends, in the sense he lose money on the one hand, he lose all the relationships or contacts. On the other hand, he lose the case. That's the result of it. The hatredness or hostility between the two castes finally led to, it's a kind of axing their own feet, right? It's an incident of axing their own feet. Bama thus concludes the chapter by mentioning two important quotes here. You can see, I quote, 100 times a second there are scuffles among them, shameless fellows. Of course, the upper caste men will laugh at them. Unquote. Again she says, I quote, instead of uniting together in a village of many castes, if they keep challenging each other to fights, what will happen to all these men in the end? Unquote. You can see by these two examples of statements of Bama, we can conclude that she has such a kind of resentment with these tendencies happening in her village. She's not happy with these intercaste disputes, which are actually the reason for their division in that community. Even she brings it as a kind of warning to their community. As I already told you, the students, things happening at the micro level are also at the macro level. Though it's a story of a village where the intercaste disputes have caused the division between that caste or that community, this is one thing which we find everywhere. The country as a whole, probably India as a whole, we can think of that. Our own struggles within, our own divisions within, which invited the British to enter India, which invited the many foreign invaders to enter the nation, and then they looted us for ages and for centuries. The reason is we had that kind of division within. We fought within. That's the reason. I think unity matters, and progress is possible only when we put that united effort. So anyhow, with that I conclude this chapter, that Bama therefore brings in so many incidents of her childhood to expose the rivalry between the castes in her village. Also, by taking these incidents, she reflects on that intercaste disputes, and she concludes that these intercaste disputes are the threat to the society and the unity, and as well as the well-being of the Dalits in India. Thank you for watching this video. We will discuss the next chapter, chapter 4, in the next video. See you.